Well, I hope you've been enjoying and learning lots. We've covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. We started off with a print style sheet and a screen style sheet, and we've kind of built up all the way to where we find ourselves now with a single external style sheet with multiple media queries. Now, before we really jump into responsive design, there's one more thing that I want to bounce off of you called media query expressions. And as a matter of fact, we're already using them. Notice that I've been using min-width for the last little while. So min-width 320 or min-width 768 and so on. Okay, so what this means, this whole idea of min-width, what it means is if the viewable area is greater than the value that we've specified, then the CSS rules that are contained within the media query will apply. Do you want to let that churn for a second? Let me say that one more time. So the value that we specify, let's use the 320 for instance. What's going to happen here is all of these CSS rules will apply so long as the device width is greater than 320 pixels. 320 pixels, then all of these rules are going to apply. It's almost like, have you heard of if-then statements? If the device width is larger than 320 pixels, then apply all of these CSS rules. Okay, and the same holds true for our other media queries. If the device's viewable space or viewable width is greater than 768 pixels, for example, then go and apply all of these rules. Okay, that's how that works. Now, we have min width. We also have max width. It would look something like this. Give me a second. I'm going to grab this code and copy it. And what I'll do is I'll create some white space here just for illustrative purposes. So we have min width, we also have max width, something like this. Okay, so max hyphen width, and then some kind of a value. You can set whatever value you want. Maybe I decide to go with the 768. Now, what this means is if the viewable area is smaller than 768, then go and apply any CSS rules that I've declared or created inside that media query's squiggly brackets. Okay, that's the idea there. So max width and min width. Now, what we could do if we wanted to is rather than setting up a max width media query, what we could do is we could build this into our HTML file. Okay, so if you don't like the idea of media queries, we saw earlier that we had 3 references to 3 different external style sheets. You could use that same idea with your max width. It would wind up looking something like this. I'd have my media equals, and then in quotes, something like screen and then in my brackets, my regular brackets, that is, max hyphen width, full colon space, and then some kind of a value, 768px, something like this. And then, of course, I could go and change the reference to the external style sheet. I'm only showing you this as an option, though. Really, I think what we want to do is we want to make use of our media queries inside of our single external style sheet. Now, one final thing that we could do is we could set up multiple media queries if we wanted to. We can combine multiple media queries together, that is. We could do something like this. Media, screen, and then we could go min width, full colon space, and then some kind of a value. I'll use 600 pixels, followed by a space, and max width, full colon space, and then some other value, perhaps 900 pixels, something like this, and then a set of CSS rules inside his squiggly brackets. And what this media query means, now that we've combined 2 widths together, a min and a max, what this means is if the viewing area is between 600 pixels and 900 pixels. So, in other words, if the viewable space on the device that's being used to view the HTML document is anywhere between 600 pixels and 900 pixels, then apply these CSS rules. Okay, so you can get pretty intricate, you can get pretty complex. This may be too much for you. I have no idea. I'm just the ambassador of information, I guess you could say. I'm just showing you what's possible. It's entirely up to you if you want to make use of these guys. I think for our purposes for this course, for the media queries that we create, let's stick with some simple media queries. Let's stick with the 320, the 768, and the 1200, so small, medium, and large, which we've been using all the way up until this point.